right, so today we're going to review for test number 3 from chapter 3. All right, so find the slope of the line through each pair of points. The formula for slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to label x1, y1. It has to be the same number inside the same point. x2, y2. It does not matter if this is x2, y2 or x1, y1, just as long as the numbers match within 1 point. All right, 8 minus negative 5 over negative 19 minus negative 19. We have 8 plus 5 over negative 19 plus 19, which is 13 over 0. Can't divide by 0, so the slope of our line is undefined. All right, write the point slope form of the equation of a line through the given with the given point and the given slope. All right, point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y and x is where you have your input and your y is your output. So we do not replace this y and this x with the point. We replace x1, y1 with our point. So x1, y1, and then of course our slope is m. Plug it in. Y minus y1, so 2 equals m times x minus negative 4. Do not distribute. You'll want to, but the purpose is leaving it in point slope form. So instead, all we have to do now is just clean it up. Y minus 2 is fine, equals 3/4 times x, and then instead of minus and negative, we'll put plus 4. That's it, we're done. It's in point slope. If you distribute it, it's no longer in point slope form, and you're going to get points marked off. So you need to write the equation of a line that goes through this point and is parallel to this line. Okay. Parallel slopes. So parallel lines have the same exact slope. So the equation of the line they gave me, I look at the slope. I don't care what the y-intercept of this line is because I need to write one with a different y-intercept, most likely. So what I really care about is the slope. The slope of this line is 2/3. Parallel lines have the same slope, so our slope, the slope of the line we're going to write, is also 2/3. You have an x, a y, and an m. Solve to find your y-intercept so you can write it in slope-intercept form, which, as we remember from Algebra 1, is y equals mx plus b. So we have y equals mx plus b, and I need to find b. So I'm going to plug in 1 for y, because that's the y value of this particular point that our line goes through. Then I'm going to plug in 2/3 for m, because the slope of our line needs to be the same as the slope of the line it's parallel to. Then I'm going to plug in -3 for x, because -3 is the corresponding x value for the point that we've already put 1 in for. And then plus b, that's what we're solving for. We do not use this b, that's a totally different line. We only care about the slope of that other line. So then we multiply. 1 is equal to 2/3 times -3 over 1. That's equal to -6/3, which is -2. Or your 3's reduced to 1, and you get 1 times 2. So add 2 to both sides, and b equals 3. That's my y-intercept. Not done yet. We need to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line. So the slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Do not use this point anymore. This was just to help us find b. So the final is y equals, we're going to write it as y equals 2/3 x, and then plus our y-intercept, plus 3. Perpendicular lines. Very similar process, but the slope is different. So, slope of perpendicular lines is opposite reciprocal. So if this slope right here is -1/2, this slope right here is +2. Change the sign and flip it. That's how you find perpendicular slope. Change the sign, flip it. You have to do both or you're not going to get the right answer. So they gave me an XY point that needs to be on our line, and they gave me the slope of a line perpendicular to the line we need to write the slope for. So the slope of the perpendicular line is -4. But if I'm going to change the sign and flip it, okay, so perpendicular, I'm going to now have a slope of +1/4. This is what I'm plugging in for m. Y equals mx plus b. Plug in your point. -1 equals m, our m is 1/4. I guess I'll use this color. 1/4 times x. Our x right here is 4. I keep forgetting to use the correct color. Okay, and then plus b. All right, b is what we're trying to solve for. 1/4 times 4 is 1. So -1 equals 1 plus b. Subtract 1, subtract 1. b equals -2. Now plug it in for your final equation. Y equals the slope we used is 1/4. X plus our b, which is -2, so we'll just put -2. This is this line perpendicular. All right, I'm going to do number 6 instead of number 5 because number 6 is just a slightly more difficult version. We can graph this using x and y intercepts. Instead, I'm going to rearrange. So we have 3x minus y is greater than 2. I would like to put it into y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides, and I get -y is greater than -3x plus 2. I'm writing the x first because I want it to be y equals mx plus b. And then I have a -y, so I need to divide this side by -1. If I divide this side, I need to divide this whole entire side by -1. -1 divided by -1 is +y, but because we divided by a negative, we have to flip that inequality symbol. So now y is less than +3x, so -3 over -1 is +3x, and then plus 2 divided by -1 is -2, and here we have our y equals mx plus b form. So put a dot at -2. Our slope is 3/1, so go up 3/1. Is this a dashed or a solid line? Because there's no line underneath, this is a dashed line. Don't forget to put arrows at the ends of your line. And then we're going to test to see where we should shade. I like to plug in the point 0, 0. Okay, so plug in. So we're going to test 0, 0. Instead of y, we put 0 is less than 3 times 0 minus 2. 0 less than -2. Is 0 less than -2? No. So we do not shade the area that 0, 0 is in. We shade the region that 0, 0 is not in, which is over here.